it's still Monday, March 15th. It was just a heavy day today. I was this whole new moon energy with just what MG was saying about healing old wounds and hurts from like childhood. It just so I don't even know how to start this one. You know, it's I don't know how to start this one. I've always had I've had to have an emotional detachment with the adults in my life, the caretakers, parents. And because growing up, it was hard to watch. I think I mentioned it in a previous video about how I was 15 when I stopped seeing them as parents. I could just see it in their eyes. You know, when you just see fear and insecurity, and like they just didn't know what they were doing. And it was to see that in their eyes. It was hard to unsee it. Once I saw it, it was hard to unsee it. And I just remember knowing, like, I can't trust them. I can't trust that they'll take care of me, because they were just trying to figure it out themselves. And it was a really hard reality. And you know, when there's a separation, the children tend to not naturally, but just, you know, I've seen it time and time again, how it plays out in different families, and how some of the children kind of gravitate towards one parent or the other. And that's what happened in our situation. I tend to gravitate towards my dad, and my brother ended up gravitating towards my mom. And there's a certain level of enmeshment that occurs in that process that is not healthy. And then you have cultural beliefs, right? And that these constructs that dictate what you're supposed to do in your roles, and these expectations. And it's hard. It's hard when you have these adults in your life that are exhibiting certain patterns of behavior, and you're caught in the middle between having this sense of responsibility over them and then struggling, because it just seems like every time you try to help is not helping. There's more of a dependency, codependency, if you're not careful. And it's subtle. It's so subtle. Sometimes it's subtle, and then other times it's clear. And at different times in my life, I had to separate myself because it was just too much. It was too much from both of them. at different times, there just was too much. They're both stubborn. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my parents. I would not be who I am without them. But it's hard to make that decision of when you have to step away. You know, when you have to step away. Because at some point, they've forgotten who they are. They've forgotten the strength they have inside. They've forgotten where they come from. And there's this unfair expectation that someone will save them. When the reality is, they can save themselves. It's all about perception. I mean, both of my parents have overcome a lot. And I've seen their strength. Growing up, I've seen their strength. And I look at them now, I'm like, what happened? Like, where's your strength? What happened? And I mentioned there's intergenerational trauma in my family. And I've had to put my boundaries with how much energy I give. Because they can be overwhelming, consuming almost. And it's hard. It was hard to do. It was really hard to do, to just let go. In the sense of like letting go and letting them be who they are. With the choices they were making. And just how they are choosing to live their life. It's hard. It's hard to let go. Because there's that cultural sense of responsibility, right, over your parents. But then, how can you help people that don't want to be helped? You know? I keep falling into these same patterns of thoughts and behaviors, and like, at what point is that no longer my responsibility but theirs? And that's hard. That's a hard reality to have to navigate. And hard decisions to make. And it's funny because it's, you know, when I look at my parents, one is so health conscious and very, like, they're both on extremes, like with health conscious and takes care of, you know, watches what they eat and vitamins and natural, you know, Asian foods. And then you have the other parent who isn't mindful of their health and struggles with choices, health conscious choices, and at different times, like, they each had their strengths when they were pushing forward. Just almost opposites. I feel like I'm having to deal with that again. Like, just, like I mentioned, my relationship with my mom is getting better. But the relationship that I had let go and not really touched on was the one with my dad. And that's come up again. All day today was about and just looking at the situation, and like, it's hard for me. One of my pet peeves used to be like, I couldn't be around people that didn't care for themselves. Like, I couldn't. There was just something about, like, don't complain about your health when you're not wanting to take care of your health. You know, that was like a big pet peeve of mine. I mean, I couldn't. I couldn't be around that. It would irk at me, because there were so many situations that I was encountering where people were getting caught with all these health issues because they weren't taking care of their health. And it was a choice. Like, these are all choices. And I'm just like, I mean, I used to like look at it like, don't come with your woe is me story. Like, I'm sorry. You know, it's advice that you chose to not listen to, you know? And I'm having to deal with that again. And I know what my lesson is. I know what it is. I need to learn how to have compassion. I need to learn how to have compassion and patience. They're just living their truth. They're just living their truth. This one's going to be a hard lesson to sit with and be patient with, because there isn't a lot of time left, unfortunately. This is a right position. I know this is an opportunity for me to do things differently. It's gonna be hard. This one's gonna be hard. So that was the day. That was today. That was today. How long is this gonna last? This one's hard. This one's really hard. That was all I wanted. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node.
design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey. And I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is, great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me. So take care.